For today, I'm going to just go over some practice with drawing. In this project particularly, because it's so two-dimensional, a lot of the work can be done preliminarily or beforehand. So I'm going to do it mostly on paper, and then it gets a lot easier when I actually move to clay. Today is just about practicing, and I'm going to show you some tips and tricks at drawing just an animal. I break everything down into shape. That helps me understand proportions. It helps me understand how to draw the animal, and it also gives me an outline, and then I'm able to just connect the lines. So I always kind of visualize my shapes prior to starting. If you can print out your image, that's great, and then you can just draw on it, and then you know how to move forward from there. That's what I did here. So I drew out the oval for the body, the oval for the neck, oval for the head, oval for the legs, so on and so forth. So then when I come over here and I go to actually draw the animal itself, I'm going to start with those shapes. So I start with a big oval for the body. And when I draw my ovals, I'm a very sketchy drawer, so I draw a lot of lines. And I draw light until I know it's right. I'm going to draw my neck in here. My ovals overlap. And then my oval for my head, again overlapping. Moving on to the legs here, which is right in the front of this oval. And I can always adjust later. Bigger oval and then the smaller oval. Bigger oval and then a smaller oval here. And then another one that's behind that leg. I haven't thought about the feet or anything. I just kind of have these shapes started and going. Now this is telling me, do I have the right proportions for the capybara? Is anything too small? Is anything too big? And really for me, it's looking like my legs are almost too small. So I might adjust here a little bit. But I think it's important to practice drawing the animal prior to moving to our template, which we will get there. So then I connect my lines. It doesn't matter necessarily where I start. I can start over here. I'm just going to kind of follow that line. And I know there's not this big kind of fold in here. It actually connects a little differently. So when I get there, I will connect that a little differently. Same thing. I think this neck oval got a little big. Some students really can't draw this way. It helps me tenfold, but I understand if it doesn't help you and you have your own method. That's fine with me. This is my sort of suggestion on how to maybe solve some problems that you might be having with drawing. But again, my way is not always the only way, or maybe not be the best way for you. I do encourage you to try it. Again, I'm just kind of connecting my lines here. I'll come back to my feet maybe. Changing, moving a little bit off of my original circles. Come back to my feet again. I just want to make sure that I have all the proportions before I move that way. Back side here. And then this foot also. And then I can draw in my little feet, which are almost like bird feet or something. Again, I want to do most of the work on paper. You don't want to rush your sketch. You don't want to rush your drawing. You want it to be ready to go to be able to add it to your template. Just kind of adding in the detail of the feet. And this guy right here, you can hardly see that leg. And I'm just going to kind of look at it overall. I can add in the detail of the eye here. It's got a little nose kind of happening up here. I think this eye is a little bit more closed than I have it drawn. But really, I'm going to take a better look and make sure that I'm happy with, you know, the proportions, the way things are. Sometimes it helps too to erase my lines at this point. So, okay. Once I finish drawing, I can erase my, I like to call that a skeleton, by the way. Because that's almost like the bones to my animal. But I can erase these lines and then I can get a better picture. And it looks like my head is almost, either my neck needs to come in a little bit more, which I think that might solve it. Let me see if that changes things and makes it better or kind of worse. That I think is all right. Granted, it has a lot of texture, it has a lot of hair on it. I'm not going to stress too much about that part of it until I actually get to the clay. But your job today is really to kind of troubleshoot drawing your animal. It's not the easiest thing. I honestly am not going to be opposed to tracing, you know, from your computer. That's fine with me. I would like you to have something that you're really proud of. This leg is a little bit funky here too, so I might work through that a little bit before I kind of move forward. But that's your task for the day, is to draw, to sketch, to really work through the troubles of your animal. Good luck.